considerations to students, particularly in the lower grades. Moreover, requiring students to explain the why of answers for questions in Common Core aligned math tests, such as the PSSAs and Keystones, could cause a child with language arts deficiencies to be inaccurately assessed in math. I shall briefly describe my two grandsons' disturbing experience with a Common Core aligned program for Algebra 1. Typically, the teacher acted as a facilitator, explaining a topic for about a third of the class period. Then, for the remainder of the time, students attempted to solve problems among themselves in groups. I detest that. Talk about the blind leading the blind. Unfinished problems were taken home for help from parents, which was problematic since many of the new and convoluted Common Core problem-solving methods are very different from those that parents learned long ago. And also, because students had no textbooks for guidance, only sketchy handouts. That's in Marple Newtown, which is a very good school district in Delaware County. I should mention that the absence of textbooks is not uncommon. Numerous districts across the state have had no Algebra 1 textbooks since the Common Core implementation. There's so much more to tell, but so little time. Anyone who would like more detailed information on Common Core math should indicate this on the sign-out sheet on the table at the back. I'll send you digital copies via email. Somehow, those schooled in traditional math methods managed to put men on the moon. Then, decades ago, the new math set math education backwards for years. Yet, shamefully, educrats continue to use our children as guinea pigs in educational experiments, such as the aforementioned non-traditional methods of teaching math. If we continue along the current path, there is no question in my mind that we will be producing an entire generation of math illiterates. One detractor stated it perfectly and succinctly when he said, "I'm guessing that the next generation won't be returning to the moon anytime soon. They might not be able to even maintain the existing technology infrastructure. Then they'll be begging for educated immigrants to fix things and mourn the day their own parents let this happen."
Thank you. Now, I'd like to read a brief letter from one of our members who's not able to be here tonight before I ask the next panel to come up. And this is from Jeff Shalott. He writes, "The Common Core is not as big an issue as the standardized testing that is required to take place. One question is the cost to the state and/or the school districts to pay the testing companies, who are for-profit groups, for these tests. Another concern is tremendous waste of valuable teaching time getting ready for and taking the test. Finally, the stress level on the students is criminal. A student in grade 8 literally spends all of April and the first part of May taking standardized tests. It is sad to see the love of learning being ripped away from our potential artists, performers, engineers, etc. Free thought and creativity have been compromised because of these mandates, and testing companies are making millions on the souls of our students. As stated before, it is downright criminal." Now, Jeff Shalott is a math department chair at Schuylkill Valley High School. He's been a mathematics teacher for 22 years, so he knows what he's speaking about. He's the head football coach and the Schuylkill Valley Education Association union president. So even they're speaking out against this. So I thought that was a good letter. So I'd like to ask Mr. Larry Wittig to make his way forward. Brian Bannister and Donna Sweeney, if you want to take your place at the table, I'll give each of you 10 minutes to intro before we go into Q&A. Oh, we can't see your name tag, sir. I'm sorry. You can now you can have the microphone wherever you want. You have 10 minutes, so it's up to you.
I only have 10 minutes, but I got to ask a question. Do they still sell cattle here? Yeah. They do. I was here 30 years ago. My grandfather was a cattle salesman and a butcher, and I was dating a girl from South Philadelphia at the time. Now, if any of you are familiar with South Philadelphia, it's heavy Italian, a lot of high heels, a lot of makeup. And I thought, because this is my youth, I should take her somewhere unusual where she's never been before. So I brought her here. And we were over in the building over there, and she was walking through, and they're auctioning off things, and she's tripping over stuff that's on the floor, you know what I mean? I can't believe she married me, but it was great. I love it. So every time we go by her, I say, "Oh, you're married." Anyway, I only have 10 minutes. I just used up a couple. A little bit about myself before we get into this. I am not an elected position. I've been on the state board since 2001. I've been through 5 governors, 12 secretaries of education, secretaries, and I've been the chair of the state board since April of 11. I served at the pleasure of the governor. In any case, I am president currently and have been for 20 years of the Board of Education at Commonwealth. I'm also a trustee on Philadelphia University's board, so I get kind of the whole gamut of pre-K to 12 and post. I'm telling you all this so you know a little bit about me. I'm a CPA in my income-producing life, by the way. I get no money for any of those positions that I just mentioned. But I'm going to give you kind of a... one other thing, the only reason I'm here, other than to get beat up by everyone, is because Jerry Knowles asked me. And I thought that I owed him that, and the views and opinions of the speaker are not reflective of the state rep. So I'm doing that qualification. In any case, I would always, I didn't want to scream because I know back there I was getting, oh, well, okay. Can everybody hear okay and it's not distorted? Are you all right? Okay. Everybody, I'm not here to defend Common Core, by the way. What I'm here is to tell you the Pennsylvania journey through the Common Core and after. In 2008, we started to review Chapter 4, which are the standards in Pennsylvania. I was on Governor Ridge's Academic Standards Commission back in 1996. All of you remember outcomes-based education? Remember that evil thing? Every bad idea started off as a good one. Well, that was one of them. Went to standards, and then every 4 years, the state board reviews the standards to see if they're up to speed and things have changed and things like that. In 2008, when I say we, the staff and the department organized teams throughout the Commonwealth to review the standards that were existing in Pennsylvania at the time, which were the Pennsylvania standards from 1996 in math, reading, writing. There were actually 14 of them, to tell you the truth, but they were only assessed in 3 areas. Okay, along comes No Child Left Behind. No Child Left Behind then mandated certain levels of performance based on standardized testing. That's a national thing. Now, we don't have to argue about whether the Fed should be in education or not, but that's a reality it is, and you need to do it as a state, or they will withhold Title I funding, which in Pennsylvania's case is a significant amount of money. So we were in the process of reviewing these standards. Along comes 2008, what happened? Barack Obama. Along comes Race to the Top. Have any of you heard of Race to the Top? Race to the Top, okay. Race to the Top was a tremendous amount of money that the Fed threw at states as a carrot to adopt Common Core. among other things. And they said, you will make these applications, and you don't have to adopt Common Core, but if you do, you get X number of points towards your grant. Well, Pennsylvania did not get any money the first time around. Oddly enough, Delaware did. In any case, we didn't get any money second time around. Third time, I believe we got 1.6 million, and that was earmarked for technology or something. A lot different than 450 million, which was the original amount of Pennsylvania. So, what happens? We're told you must adopt Common Core. So, in 2010, the state board voted to adopt Common Core as the standards of the land. Well, lo and behold, they go through the process, we don't get anything. Simultaneously, we are trying to align with what has been done by educators, panelists, superintendents. Remember 2008 that we were starting to review that stuff? Well, they started saying, well, okay, let's see what we've been working on at the state, independent, long before Common Core came into existence. Let's see what they have been working on relative to this Common Core stuff. So we, the state board, hired University of Pittsburgh to do an alignment study. So where are we, Pennsylvania, where is Common Core over here? And there were similarities, particularly in the MAD approach, which has been denounced by other speakers. And they saw where things were good and where things were bad. For example, some standards occurred in the end of third grade in one set, and the other set, it might have been the beginning of fourth grade or something like that. After all that alignment was done, in 2012, we voted, I can't say this articulately, but we undid Common Core in lieu of Pennsylvania Core Standards. The biggest sin we did was have the name Core in Pennsylvania Core Standards. But it was basically put together, and are there similarities? Yes, there are. But it is not the core, Common Core. There's no tie to the Fed. There are safe gaps that we put into the regs to avoid data accumulation, data mining, to avoid national testing, to avoid book lists, all those lists that could be required. Anything that you get, that your kids come home with, that say, we were asked to read this, and it's something not so swell, that's a local decision. That's not mandated by the state. Specifically, it is mandated that there is no reading list, okay? So, where are we today? Now, I don't want to get into the Keystone thing. I mean, the young lady who was up here addressed it, certainly. And we are not going, it was one thing or the other, because we could be here all night. And I have, how many minutes left? Not very many. 2. I will stay after this, because this isn't exactly the forum where you can get give and take. And I will be in the back. You can come and talk to me. I will be here as long as you want me to. But I will answer things honestly. And I have no axe to grind here other than when somebody graduates from Machwa with a certificate that says they know what they're doing. Somebody graduates from Philadelphia with a certificate that says they know what they're doing. Somebody graduates from Mars or Rwanda or any place else. And they all say the same thing. We have a level of proficiency. And they don't. They don't. So the omission of some kind of check and balance. And I wear 20 years I've been the president of the Machwa School District. I am all for local control. But when that melts down, when, believe it or not, there are some school boards that are incompetent. I know that the PSBA finds it hard to believe, but there are some incompetent school boards out there. And the taxpayers become frustrated because they're spending money for synthetic tracks as opposed to curriculum or whatever it is. But the fact of the matter is that there has to be meaning for a graduation. And I granted, I'll be the first one to admit that maybe Algebra 1 isn't the benchmark, but we're stuck with NCLB, No Child Left Behind, And we're stuck with the AYP associated with that, and right now, the keystones are the exam. And oh, by the way, the keystone exams in those 3 areas, literature, biology, and again, it has to be a science, so pick your poison, and math. Those 3 areas are also key for the evaluation of administrators and for teachers. So is it surprising that the teachers union may not like to see an evaluation tool that may or may not be adversely affected by it? Just saying. So again, I'm done, and the other 2 panelists will occupy your time. I will stay here. Anybody wants to talk to me about anything, I'll be happy to answer. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to ask Ryan Bannister to come up.
Okay, this is great. I tell you, as I spend every day in the Capitol dealing with legislators on this issue, sometimes I leave my head low, feeling a little depressed about the situation, but when I come to stuff like this, I mean, there's still fighters out there. There's still patriots among us, so thank you all very much for being a part of this and being here. Because I'm a parent, not a grandparent, but I'm a parent, and I care about my children, as everybody should. And this issue, first of all, show of hands. I want to make sure I'm in friendly territory. Show of hands, how many people here were really behind Barack Obama's stimulus? Just be honest. Nobody. Come on, shovel ready. I was even going to bring my own shovel. Nothing, right? And then what happened, right? Cash for clunkers, remember that? Remember all these great programs that were happening? Oh, wait a minute, there was one. Common Core, race to the top, right? Common Core. This was the one. Out of all these failed programs, Affordable Care Act became anything but a Common Core. This is the one everybody's hanging their hats on. And why is that? You heard Mr. Whittick say, we don't do Common Core in Pennsylvania. Well, that's not true. Here we go. Department of Education, dated 6/30/2014 pre-contracting questionnaire. Right? We're about to get another contract, which means money, because those aren't free. What's this contract for? Oh, that's right. We're going to improve student achievement and align approximately 22,000 elements to the approved State Board of Education's National Common Core standards. We are doing Common Core. We have to do Common Core. Because the contracts that we're aligned to with the federal government says we have to do it. And this goes beyond education, folks. Common Core isn't just convoluted math. And how do you feel about a verb? Common Core is much more than that. Data collection. Pennsylvania's own words on our grant application for the Race to the Top money. Not my words. Womb to workplace data collection system. So when the money is earmarked for technology, guess what kind of technology it's going to? Our PIM system, where we have to link it up to the statewide longitudinal data system from the federal government, and we have to collect over 500 points of data, non-scholastic data on our children, on my children? You gotta be kidding me that we're doing this. That convoluted math, so what? I mean, not like anybody cares about that. They don't have the data. Remember, 150 years ago, the big thing was train holdups, right? Bank robberies, gold, right? The old Western movies are holding up the Wells Fargo stagecoach. Now what do you hear in the news? Data. Who's hacking what? Who's collecting data? Data, Target, Home Depot. Heck, the U.S. Army just got hacked a couple weeks ago. We have a contract with the federal government. We have a contract bound by the federal government. And I'm sure you good people here can recite to me what the 10th Amendment says. Who can tell me when the Federal Department of Education was even founded? Give you a hint. Jimmy Carter? We're not, Mr. Whittick, we're not bound. The federal government may have a carrot and stick to us and lure us. But so what? There are states out there who have repealed Common Core. There's a particular state out there, South